Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back once again to this week's Hot Stocks Outlook for September 8th. 2017. Hope you're all having an excellent week out there in the financial markets. A lot of really great stuff to take a look at. We're going to start here in A. Schulman, some basic materials. We've got JetBlue and transportation, some healthcare, and also Ubiquiti Networks, some technology. And, really what we're seeing is a lot of stocks, as I've said over the past several weeks, a real mix. Some doing very well, some doing very poorly, and you really need to hedge that overall portfolio. Have some longs, have some shorts, be making money on both sides of the market. But let's take a look here at A. Schulman and see how we would have approached this market. Now, against really the price data here, we have daily bars and candles, so end of day data being used to look at this analysis. And we have a few indicators generated via the software technology here. Now, against that price data, you see that you have a blue line and also a black line. Now, the black line is just a simple moving average. Very simple calculation, add 10 days together, divide them by 10, you plot that value. But what we're comparing that essentially summary of what the market's already done, what we're comparing it to is this predicted moving average, this a blue line that you see on the chart. That value to be plotted on the chart is looking at the technology within VantagePoint, the artificial intelligence of neural networks, and how other markets are affecting and influencing that market you're trading. So when you have a situation where that blue line has moved above the black line, it's telling you the trend direction is up. And as a trader, we want to trade with that trend and stay with really any trade, trend, whether we're short, long term, make sure we identify that trend and then go in with our shorter term tools and trade it. Now, in addition to our predicted moving average that lets us know, do we want to be long or short? What's going on? Is there a trend reversal happening here? We have the predicted neural index you see here at the bottom of the screen. And this indicator is an extremely accurate, very, very accurate short-term indicator gauging strength or weakness over the next 2 trading days, 48 hours, 2 trading days, 2 candlesticks, just short-term though. So when we understand that we've gotten this crossover to the upside, we can see that neural index confirming that strength. That's a great opportunity to get into the market. But of course, we need to figure out, okay, well, what price level do we want to accept? And what's great about VantagePoint is it also provides really this complete forecast of trend, short-term strength or weakness, but also a predicted trading range, a predicted high and low that you receive before the trading day even occurs. So, a couple hours after the market closes on Wednesday, you have these values for Thursday's trading. And so what we're able to identify here is once that crossover comes through, you want to look towards those predicted low values from the software. And, what we see here is see how accurate these values are over time. So when you have this level of 2650 the day ahead of time, put in an order, the market trades down, hits that level, and we're immediately trading higher because you're getting that good intraday analysis. As this trade moves forward from the trend forward, you see another predicted low. Really great entry there. We're hitting predicted lows here, predicted lows here, predicted lows here, predicted lows here. So you constantly have that software updating and letting you know what's occurring in the market, how should you adapt or change this overall position. And you see so far this market is up about 16%, but many opportunities there for shorter term day trades for those to hit those short-term targets as well. So really nice opportunity there, about 17%. We see a lot of this weakness over the recent, really forecasting that sideways action where the trend is still up, but neural index down, and you see the market just trade sideways. So you really understand where that conflict is in the market as well. But let's go ahead and move on, use the same approach and same logic, and really realize we don't need to overcomplicate our analysis and our approach here. Here in JetBlue, we'd gotten the crossover all the way back at the end of July, signaling the trend is now down. Neural index confirms that a downward move there. And so if you're, regardless of that trading style, come in, look towards those predicted highs and lows. If you want to trade the trend, you're just going to stay in as long as that blue line remains below the black line. Almost a 20% move lower. But let's go ahead and take a closer look and say, okay, well, if the trend is down, we know we want to be short. We know we want to come in at these predicted high levels to essentially find good intraday shorts. And sure enough, hitting this predicted high right after the cross, getting a little bit of strength from the neural index, hitting these highs, but the trend is still down, and you therefore want to keep shorting the market in line with that overall trend assessment that you've been able to determine via these forecasts from the VantagePoint software. So you see how as the trend continues, you're alerted to these levels that are really great levels to short within an existing trend, up or down. Let's go ahead and move forward here to Immunomedics, and great example for short-term traders who maybe like to trade some of these cheaper stocks here. You can get some really high volatility moves, big percentage moves in a very short term. But if we look at the forecast, so how would we have interacted with this market if we have this information? Well, what we clearly understand is the trend is up after the 18th of August. You'd want to start buying the market from this point on. And with a trade that's trading at a low price per share, you want to be even more careful with that entry level that you take, because we know that these cheaper stocks can be a lot more volatile. So if you're putting on a big position, you need to be real careful with what price level are you accepting, how much risk to the stop loss are you going to put on the trade. So when we bring up those levels, we can again see how we're able to adapt and really ebb and flow with these changing markets, where you get a great perfect entry down at this predicted low. Well, there's your day trade. This right here is about either an entry into the long-term trade, or you just target that predicted high. It's a 7% move in one trading day. From that predicted low level, you see the market's up almost 30% here. But what I really wanted to point out here is just the really highly accurate short-term forecasting here, where you see when this neural index is up at a 1, if you're buying at these predicted lows, you're buying at great opportunities within the uptrend. And even as a really short-term trader, you would recognize that if you bought at this predicted low, well, once the forecast came through and forecasted some weakness, you'd say, you know what, scratch that trade. Just get out of that one. You don't have the continued strength you've seen from the neural index, although the overall, this long-term trend that we've had. So if you bought all the way back here at the beginning of the trend, you can go ahead and hold on to that as long as that blue line remains above the black line, and try to ride that trend as long as possible. You still a lot of separation we still see between these two values. So you may want to go ahead and hold on to that opportunity. But great additions. So where you want to manage the trade, adding to the position here, adding to the position here, and making a lot of money as you manage this position moving forward. So really nice opportunity, 36% move thus far since the crossover, but about 7 or 8% on these day trade ranges that you see there. Last opportunity, let's go ahead and look at, and I really wanted to highlight this opportunity because it is so important to really evolve and adapt with changing market conditions, because when you get into a market, one day, 2 weeks later, you'll be dealing with a different set of circumstances, a different set of probabilities. And that's really where the software helps you understand and gears you towards where's the best spot to be making money this week or this month in the market. So as we look at this opportunity, this was something we highlighted 3 weeks ago in the Hot Stocks Outlook, saying that, okay, well, you'd want to go ahead and get long this market since the crossover came through. We got in a huge rally higher, crossover to crossover. This overall trend forecast resulted in a clean 25% move higher. But let me go ahead and bring up these predicted high and low levels, and I'll actually even go ahead and we'll designate the reversal point here, where we see the cross reverse to the downside and started moving lower. Well, let's look at these predicted high and low levels and see what would you be doing over the course of this trade. Well, if you're in the uptrend, you're buying at these predicted lows, buying at these predicted lows, buying at these predicted low levels. And really, you see great intraday levels to be adding to your position to the upside. Be trading that range as you see you're getting sort of that conflict when you have the crossovers to the upside at this period of time here, your neural index dipping down, and you see the market sort of traded sideways like we saw in a Schulman with a similar forecast. But once the crossover gets to the downside from here on out, now you see the exact opposite, where if anything, you'd want to be shorting at these predicted high levels. And this has already turned into about an 11% decline on the downside here. It's about a 12% decline to the downside. It was about a 25% move to the upside. But you're able to not only keep that 25%, but able to even make money to the downside, take those profits and even use them to short the market at those predicted levels and make money that way too. So just a really nice opportunity to take a look at and understand how, if you had the software, 3 or 4 weeks ago, saw Ubiquiti Networks trade forward, Well, the next crossover you received informed you on how you wanted to manage that opportunity and really get out of that 25% up move that we highlighted earlier. So really great opportunity there. And just the software doing what it does, constantly updating, looking at those intermarket relationships and making those adjustments with the predicted high and low neural index. So as a trader, you really understand what to expect. And when you expect, know what to expect, you can be ahead of this and really be much more calm, be unemotional, and execute efficiently in the market, which is really what it's all about. If you want to be a good business and a profitable business, be very efficient in your practice. So as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Please go ahead, leave any questions or comments in the areas provided below, and be sure you watch the playlists that are available that really highlight these videos and this approach going over the past over a year now. So as always, thank you guys. Best of luck to you out there in the markets. Thanks for watching. See y'all next week. Thanks, guys.